Both teams are 5-0. The point guard for Baylor's Kenny Cherry, a newcomer as a junior college transfer. Gary Franklin had a career high last night. Ish Wainwright, Corey Jefferson, and Isaiah Austin. Jefferson and Austin, one of the most powerful front lines in the country. For Dayton, Kari Price, first-year starter with the transfer Seibert from Ohio State. Deshaun Pierre, Devin Oliver, and Big Matt Kavanaugh in the middle for the Flyers dressed in white. First meeting ever between these two schools. Kevin Brill will throw the ball in the air, working with Tom Eads and Mike Kitts. A spot in the title game is on the line, and Baylor won the tip.
Dayton starting out in man-to-man. Kenny Cherry being guarded by Kari Price, who's an excellent on-ball defender.
Corey Jefferson handed it off to Gary Franklin. And as Jefferson went toward the goal, he was fouled by Matt Kavanaugh.
Really good movement by Baylor, moving the ball from side to side, dribble handoffs.
They charged the foul to Kari Price, his first on the reach-in. So here's Jefferson. 66% for the year from the line, their second leading scorer. And their leading rebounder. He's averaging 13 points, 9.5 rebounds per game.
A respected player that's improved every year he's been with Baylor and has made himself into a legitimate first-round selection in the NBA draft if he decides to come out. Well, he's a senior, excuse me.
Yep, he will come out.
Thinking about last year, 2-3 zone right now for Baylor. And Baylor has spent about half the minutes this year in a zone. Played mostly zone a few years ago. It was played a little bit more man this year. But with their length and the driving ability of Dayton, didn't want to go man in this one.
Brisk ball movement leads to a three that's wide from Jordan Seibert. Out of bounds. Officials conferring. And still no point. Apparently it's Dayton ball with the full shot clock. Third trip to this tournament for the Flyers. We mentioned they won it all in 2003. Shot wouldn't go out of the corner for Deshaun Pierre. Out of bounds to Baylor. When they were here in 2000, Dayton pulled off a couple of upsets. Beat UConn, number 12 in the country at the time. Lost to top-ranked Arizona and then beat number 6 Maryland to finish in third place. So they have a terrific history here in Maui.
Ball screen continuity with some handoffs. When they pass out of those side ball screens, you got to watch the lob. The hedge guy gets up there, and all of a sudden they're slipping all the way to the basket for a lob.
Wow, Isaiah Austin at 7'1", launched a three. He's now 0 for 2 for the year from beyond the arc.
A lot of playmakers that Dayton can put in the middle of that zone. Get it to the short corner and then get it inside.
Traveling the call is Deshaun Pierre. Got in the middle of that zone, but then walked.
With both size and length that Baylor has in this zone, you just have to stay disciplined and make Dayton shoot over. You just challenge and give your opponents a chance to miss and clean up the rebounds. You got a real chance to do some damage.
Austin closer to the basket this time, but his shot is short. We have a pitcher's duel here. 2 minutes in, 1-0. Baylor has the lead. Jefferson blocks Kavanaugh's shot out of bounds.
Kavanaugh with a nice shot fake and got Isaiah Austin to leave the floor, but Corey Jefferson just sitting right on that fake. Good pass.
Wide open Seibert with the first field goal of the game for either team.
Boy, The low man on that zone opposite has got to take away that baseline pass. That was really easy. And Seibert is hot. His second half against Gonzaga was terrific. Made 5 threes in the game, had 23 points.
Jefferson. The end is running mate up front. Isaiah Austin, both preseason all Big 12. They only named 6 players to the preseason all-conference team in the Big 12. First time Baylor's ever had multiple players on the preseason squad. Seibert a miss.
That was a good job screening the zone by Kavanaugh.
Well, Franklin awkwardly got rid of it. Almost traveled. Austin can't get one to go. Oliver tipped it off to Kari Price, sophomore out of Slidell, Louisiana.
Austin's got to finish those plays. Such a talented player, but lacks some strength around the bucket.
Oliver underneath to Kavanaugh, just powered his way to the basket.
It just went right into the chest of Isaiah Austin, backed him up, and created the space to get a bucket. That was a great pass.
Long three, wouldn't drop for Kenny Cherry. Ish Wainwright got it back for the Baylor Bears.
Well, how about a physical battle between
here with his wife, Scott's mom, Janet. Both cancer survivors. Mr. and Mrs. Drew are happy to report they are both doing very well. 3 turnovers now by Baylor.
Dayton is a smaller team, but they're strong. They defend well, and they've got 4 different guys that really put it on the floor effectively, and that's really good ball movement.
They do move the ball briskly. Jordan Seibert missed a corner 3. Brady Heslop off the bench. And a foul called on Kari Price. That's his second for the starting point guard for the Dayton Flyers. And Archie Miller's going to take him out for the freshman from the Bronx, Scoochie Smith. Jefferson wide open. A little too strong off the glass. The rebound by Oliver, senior out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Devin Scott's on the floor for Dayton, number 40. Gives them some size and strength near the basket.
Dayton gave up an easy shot, but they certainly went to the glass. They're going to have to with Rico Gathers in there. He had 14 rebounds against Chaminade.
There's a 3 for Devin Oliver. His first basket of the game. And his first 3-point field goal of this tournament. He was 0 for 1 from beyond the arc. Neither team shooting well. Baylor's just 1 for 6 out of the gate. Cherry floats one in.
Good pace there by Cherry. Excellent pass.
Seibert way ahead of the defense, wide open in the corner.
Well, that's one way to hurt his own, to beat it down the floor, but Seibert stretching it out. Well, he really loves the corners.
Royce O'Neal, Rico Gathers, Brady Heslop all off the Baylor bench. They're playing 9 men. Scott Drew's rotation. Eddie Cherry, nicely done. Junior from Montreal, went to high school in the Washington, D.C. area at Archbishop Carroll. And spent a couple of years in junior college at State Fair Community College in Missouri. First year now playing for Baylor. He's made a nice transition to college basketball through 5 games for Baylor.
Dayton needs to look to drive the reversal. They're moving the ball. You can't just move it around the perimeter. You've got to get it into the gaps of the zone.
Deshaun Pierre Three-pointer out of the corner for the sophomore from Whitby, Ontario.
That stroke is unorthodox, but it's smooth and it goes in. Well, Pierre's also got, when he puts it on the deck, he's got a great spin move, and you got to be aware of it. I love the way Dayton plays. Aggressive bunch.
They play with a lot of energy. They're 5-0 with the win over Gonzaga, the highest ranked opponent they have defeated in 2+ seasons under Archie Miller. Dayton hasn't been 5-0 with a win over a ranked team since 1954-55. So off to one of the best starts through 5 games in the proud history of UD basketball. Torian Prince just into the game for Baylor committed his first foul.
Baylor put a little 2-2-1 3/4 court press on. Well, Dayton in this 5-0 start, they've had over 70 points in each game. They've been scoring effectively and efficiently, and played the angle really, really well. That was excellent basketball by Dayton in attacking the zone. And that pass was delivered not just to the offense, but away from the defense. Gathers, tries to go to the baseline side, and Scott just sealed him off, and that pass was really good.
Scott made the first free throw. Sophomore from Columbus. And a great start for Dayton, picking up where they left off in the second half last night. Started slowly in this one. Went 2 for 8 from the floor, then made 3 straight threes to get them in the flow.
That was really nice help by Devin Oliver. B. Sanford on Heslip just trying to stick with him and chase him off that 3-point line.
Prince turned it over. B. Sanford all the way to the bucket, couldn't finish. And then 2 Dayton players down behind the play. This is 5-on-3. And Franklin hits the 3 in transition.
Franklin shot the ball so well against Chaminade.
His first basket tonight. He made 6 threes last night. 6 out of 10. Career high 22 points for Franklin against the Silver Sword.
1-3-1 now. Odd man front with Franklin up top.
Sanford's floater goes. Transfer from Georgetown, has his first bucket.
Has he gotten stronger? He was so thin when he was at Georgetown. He spent a lot of time in the weight room.
Prince, fadeaway popped out to Devin Oliver.
It's been 1 and out for Baylor. Nobody leaks out early for Dayton. They all go to the glass. They don't start their break until they've got the ball. 2-3 zone, wings coming up. Very few teams play 2-3 zone along the baseline anymore.
B. Sanford makes it a 10-point game. Largest lead for Dayton.
You better be able to guard the dribble when you play Dayton, because there are several guys that can put it on the floor and drive matchups.
Royce O'Neal. You think of the great men who have led this event as tournament chairman since we've been coming here. The late, great Dave Gavitt, one of the great people in the history of college athletics. Wayne Duke, who for a long time was the commissioner of the Big Ten, and now Dave Odom. Royce O'Neal in transition. Off the Dayton turnover, his first basket, and now they have it back.
Well, 2 big mistakes by Dayton. One, saving that ball toward the bucket of Baylor, which was the first pass in their fast break to give them an easy bucket when they've been struggling. And then the lazy pass out of bounds under.
Isaiah Austin had it blocked.
That's just the one area where he's got to get better. He's got to get stronger playing through contact because he's so talented.
He wanted to muscle up over the summer. They listed him at 225, but Austin had shoulder surgery, really couldn't work out all summer long. Royce O'Neal has given them a boost off the bench. He has 4. And the Baylor Bears back within 6, 9.5 to go till halftime.
Baylor goes man-to-man, and Dayton was not at all strong with the ball. That was just a giveaway, standing straight up, almost like they were surprised that Baylor's going to defend them hard.
Scucci Smith, that's a long 2 for the freshman. They had turned it over their previous 3 possessions.
Smith, a true point guard. He does a good job passing. It just wasn't particularly strong or alert the last few plays before he knocked that shot down. Maybe that'll wake Dayton up after that timeout, because Baylor came out ready to roll.
Cherry from the top of the key. Lots of bodies trying to clear out space, and it was Isaiah Austin who was a bit too aggressive. Called for his first.
Dayton has really shot the ball well. And they have been strong on the glass. They've not given a lot of opportunities for Baylor. Their first shot defense has been pretty good, but they haven't allowed second ones.
Mike Kitts has blown the whistle. I'm not sure what that was about. I don't know if he was telling Scott Drew and the Baylor bench to pipe down. I mentioned, by the way, in the earlier games, Ed Hightower, one of the great officials here, working his last tournament here. There's a travel, and Mike Kitts, who just whistled that violation against V. Sanford, will be working his last season. Another guy who's had a long and distinguished career. Brought his son over here to enjoy his last trip to Maui. Mike Kitts has worked 6 of these EA Sports Maui Invitationals.
His son Michael, who is a great golfer.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've been hunkering down with my notes and stats all week while you've been.
A really good athlete.
Scucci Smith called for his first foul. 12 points for O'Neal last night in their win over Chaminade. I was very surprised when Mike Kitts, by the way, told us yesterday that he is in his mid-60s.
Did you think he was older?
Oh, you are awful. He's probably retiring just so he can get away from you.
I'm waiting for you to do the same.
Really a nice guy, although occasionally he's quick with one of my favorite phrases when it comes to Mike Kitts. They call him Mike Kitts with 2 T's, because frequently he'll hand out a couple of T's during a ball game. Technical fouls. We wish him well. Good guy. Kavanaugh double teamed. Jefferson blocked it. Kavanaugh got it back. Shot clock's down to 7. And the long 3 wouldn't fall for Scucci Smith, and a Dayton foul on the rebounding action against Finger of his 603,000 Twitter followers.
What, did some drop out? It dropped down to that low of a number?
You wrote a book called Toughness. Is the next one called Humility?
No, it's called Smugness.
Cyber to 3 off the scramble.
Boy, Dayton quicker to loose balls on both ends of the floor. And Jordan Seibert, he is in a very confident place as a player. Transferred in from Ohio State, where he got lost in the shuffle, but he is not lost in the shuffle with the Dayton Flyers. What a great job by Kavanaugh to trail that play, and V. Sanford to go down on the deck and get it. And talk about the extra pass. For this Dayton team, the go-to guy is the open man. And Jordan Seibert's their best player and best scorer. But they're not just looking for one guy. They've got multiple scorers who can take you off the bounce. Price and Seibert, their two best perimeter shooters.
Oliver is open for three.
And apparently he heard me and wanted to get in on the act.
He's made 2 threes in this half. He was 1 for 9 for the season entering this game. 12-point lead, the largest of this game.
Dayton has just been cutting up this Baylor defense, whether it's zone or man. Putting the ball on the deck, passing out of it. Their passing is excellent.
Matt Cavanaugh just committed his second foul, so Devin Scott's in for the 6'10" Cavanaugh. Royce O'Neal. Nice lob into Rico Gathers, and he was too strong off the glass.
Well, he had a matchup with Scoochie Smith guarding him inside, and you got to score on that.
Sanford, the pull-up. And a timeout called by.
Has led to the shooting. They're good shooters, but when you make passes that well, I think it improves your shooting.
Started slowly last night against Gonzaga, trailed by 16. Rallied to win. Devin Oliver called for the foul. His first and the team's sixth. Just before Dayton came over here, they won at Georgia Tech. Over the last 7 years, Dayton is now 20-9 against teams from the quote-unquote power conferences, BCS programs. They've won their last 7 games against SEC teams, the last 5 from teams from the ACC, and they're up 14 now on one of the best teams in the Big 12. Dayton plays the Atlantic 10, picked to finish 7th in the 13-team Atlantic 10 in the preseason media poll. Scoochie Smith missed it by a scooch. And then Devin Scott, the foul, his first.
So Scoochie Smith did a really nice job defensively here. He got blown by a bit by Gary Franklin, but he didn't foul. And he just knocks the ball away from behind. That's really smart defense. Instead of giving up the foul, which a lot of guys do, once you're beat, you've got help behind you. And trust your help, and that's what Scoochie Smith did there. That was well done.
Well, he has to be smart. He's from that known basketball power Putnam Science Academy in New York City. Had a fine career for the Putnam Science Academy pocket protectors. Rico Gathers missed the front end of a 1-on-1. Ish Wainwright had the rebound, but he's out of bounds.
That's quite a battle with Devin Oliver and Ish Wainwright, two strong players. Wainwright can play anywhere from the power forward to the point guard position. Actually played some point in the ball game against Chaminade.
And if you have to be a good point guard, you say Ish. Ish took it away, and then he was fouled by Pierre. First on Deshaun, and the 18th foul against the Flyers, so another 1-and-1 opportunity here for Baylor. And apparently there's a problem over at the tables. Mike Kitts and Tom Eads are over there. Mark Whitehead is the standby official. Ish Wainwright is at the line.
Mike Kitts explaining if the foul was before Ish Wainwright had the ball, he wouldn't have been shooting. It would have been a team control. But since he had the ball, he's going to the line. That's what they were talking about.
He made 1 out of 2, but Gathers rebounds the miss. Powers it back up and in. Strong move by Rico Gathers from La Place, Louisiana. 2 times the Louisiana High School State Player of the Year at Riverside Academy.
Coming off a 14 rebound game, and one of the few offensive rebound opportunities that Baylor's had in this one.
Wow, deep 3 by Devin Oliver.
Devin Oliver had 20 points against Georgia Tech, and he's so good off the bounce that Corey Jefferson had to give him some space. And he just knocked that thing down with confidence.
Flyers
driving the ball. He's driven it from each wing and gotten into the lane. That time drew the foul, but he's had a couple floaters in there, and he's really attacked effectively off the bounce.
The Old Spice Classic is a big part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. Action begins Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, on ESPN2. Just put it on ESPN2 and leave it right there. Or you don't have to.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. From Orlando. Starts with a great matchup at noon. Purdue and Oklahoma State.
If you haven't seen Oklahoma State, they are far more than Marcus Smart. And in my judgment right now, there's not a better player in the country than Marcus Smart. But Markel Brown, Michael Cobbins, I mean, you're talking about a super athletic team that knows how to play.
Archie Miller going a little deeper down the bench. Kyle Davis, freshman backup point guard, tried to feed Jalen Robinson, also deep down the bench. They didn't connect. With a 12-point lead, he can give some rest to some of the regulars. Corey Jefferson trying to back in on Robinson, who held his ground nicely. And a foul on the rebounding action. It was Gathers aggressively up there on the rim to pick up a foul against the Flyers' Devin Scott, his second. And now the double bonus. Fouls are 10-4.
Both Scott and Pierre were there right in the back at Gathers, and they just had to push him to get him out of there. Like one of those strongman contests trying to push a semi uphill. He is so big and strong.
They list him at 6'8", 270. Rico, the second cousin of the late Loyola Marymount All-American Hank Gathers.
Look at his arms. They look like sides of beef. That is one big man, and he is really a good rebounder. One of the things I really like about watching Gathers play is how he competes. He goes after every ball and competes in practice every day.
Got the friendly bounce on these soft rims. Torian Prince returns. Sophomore from San Antonio gives Corey Jefferson a breather. We tick down to 4 minutes to go in the first half. The winner will play Syracuse tomorrow night, 10 Eastern time on ESPN in the EA Sports Maui Invitational Championship game.
Baller lineup for Baylor.
The third time in 3 trips to the EA Sports Maui Invitational. And they'll take on the winner of this game. Dayton by 11 over Baylor. The largest lead was 14 for the UD Flyers.
Dayton has shot the ball so well. 54%. They've knocked down 7 threes, but they can't forget about driving the ball. That's what they're really good at. Nicely done by Kenny Cherry. He has 8 points. He has been really good off the bounce. He's a good guard. Really filled in that space that Pierre Jackson left when he graduated last year.
He was drafted in the NBA.
Wow.
Taurean Prince, Dayton folks thought he traveled, and then he charged.
He was fouled first.
Second foul on Taurean Prince.
E. Sanford had his hands all over him. Looked like Jordan Seibert was there. His arms were down, but he was there. He was fouled first, right before that replay started.
Strong drive by Sanford, and he was fouled. That will not put Baylor over the limit yet. Their 6th team foul, the second personal on Royce O'Neal.
The fact that Dayton has shot the ball so well means that Baylor is going to have to get out to shooters. That means you're going to have the opportunity to drive.
Sanford, another strong drive, missed the shot with the left hand. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Fast break, Baylor, and a wild shot thrown up by a stumbling Royce O'Neal.
A little bit out of control.
Jalen Robinson, sophomore from Columbus, Ohio.
That ball doesn't stick, does it? It moves as soon as somebody catches it.
Nice baseline drive by Jordan Seibert, but he couldn't finish. Both teams have gone cold here with 2 minutes to go in the half. Cherry had it ripped away, but then Gathers took it back. Seibert had it. Archie Miller got a timeout. Difficulty off the court. Matt Cavanaugh didn't play the entire year for a university suspension. Of course, they didn't have Seibert last year, sitting out as a transfer. Sanford lost it, but Dayton will keep it with 23 on the shot clock.
Now, Archie Miller played for Herb Sendek in NC State, coached under him at State and Arizona State, coached for Thad Matta at Ohio State. But he started off with Darren Horn at Western Kentucky. He also recruited Courtney Lee.
Cherry blocked, but then it's dropped in by the hustling Prince after a nice block by Jalen Robinson. Excuse me, Kendall Pollard.
Pollard made a great block, but one of the first times you haven't seen all the Flyers get down the floor. They thought it was just going to be an easy layup, and Pollard made a great play.
Jalen Robinson, a little too strong with the one-hander, and Baylor has scratched its way right back into it here in the final couple of minutes of this half. 1 minute to go. They've cut a 14-point deficit in half. Great catch in the corner by Cherry.
Off the double team in the post. That was a great catch that saved the turnover. Scoochie Smith's done a nice job of moving his feet.
Jefferson rattles one home from just inside the three-point line. Got a quiet half. Just his second field goal. The Baylor's within 5, and for the most part, Dayton could take it right down to the buzzer. Fraction of a second difference between the game clock and shot clock.
And they want to take the shot with about 4 seconds remaining. So they have the opportunity for an offensive rebound, but they don't give Baylor as much of a chance to take it the other way. Got to get going.
Dayton does not score over the final 4 minutes and 55 seconds of the half.
Foul. It wasn't because of foul trouble. It was because of his level of toughness. They're going with guys like Rico Gathers, who's really throwing his body around and really got on the glass.
Saw Austin on the bench, not on the court to begin the second half. Preseason all Big 12. And the long drought's over for Dayton. They went the last 4:55 of the first half without a point. They went 0 for the last 6. Jordan Seibert got him back on the score sheet. Out of bounds. Dayton ball. Matt Cavanaugh, Jordan Seibert, Deshaun Pierre with Hardy Price now back at the point, and Devin Oliver. The 5 to start the second half for Archie Miller.
The first thing Dayton does when they get the ball was driving. They had to have talked about that at halftime, and you have to expect that that's going to continue.
Price played only 4 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble, so they did well without their starting point guard, who tees up a 3.
Devin Oliver with the drive. That makes the defense sink in and shrink. And then Price able to step into an open 3. Much better offense to start the second half than Dayton had to end the first.
And now a foul on Baylor. Might be on Ish Wainwright, trying to establish position along the lane, and that's his first foul.
Evan Price drives the ball left-handed and kicks it to a wide open Price. And the Price was right, stepping into a 3.
His first basket of the game.
This team's so good off the bounce. I think if they continue to try to beat Baylor off the dribble, there are some good things. And if they drive off a ball reversal, that's when they're really going to get some good things.
Cavanaugh blocked by Jefferson. Pierre kept it alive for Dayton. Shot clock runs out.
Devin Oliver needed to shoot that ball. They made the extra pass. He either needed to shoot it or put it on the deck. 4 different guys in this starting lineup can really deck it, can put it on the floor and drive.
Ten turnovers for each team. And as they try to feed Corey Jefferson in the post, he's fouled by Oliver. 3 fouls now on Devin Oliver.
Have to be smart. He's at a disadvantage size-wise. You just have to stay between Jefferson and the basket, make him take a fall-away jumper. A difficult shot over you. Can't expect to take away everything all the time.
Jefferson double teamed, used his strength to rip it back away from Price, then the held ball. And it'll stick with Baylor.
These guys are like defensive backs. Instead of going after the tackle, they're trying to punch the ball out from a ball carrier. You bring it down. Price was all over that thing.
Kicked out by Cavanaugh. Baylor will keep it.
They may be smaller, but they are physical.
This Wainwright will play it in now. Out to Kenny Cherry. Rico Gathers. Royce O'Neal, Corey Jefferson rounding out the fivesome for Scott Drew. Wainwright, tough shot, and he banked it home. High arcing shot over Deshaun Pierre. First field goal of the ball game for the freshman Wainwright from Kansas City. Played high school ball at Montrose Christian in Maryland. Seibert. Boy, he has a smooth jump shot.
Really nice move by Jordan Seibert. Just got a little fade screen and came off it ready to shoot. Just picked off Ish Wainwright. You got to get up over the top of that fade screen. Easy to say sitting here, hard to do out on the floor.
Cherry knocks one in from 3. He has 11.
That's Jordan Seibert here when he gives up the ball, Matt Cavanaugh is going to step up and set a little fade screen, and then Seibert is going to come off and fade to the three-point line. And Ish Wainwright goes underneath it instead of going over the top of it so he can chase him off that line and get him inside the three-point line. Really well done by Dayton. This is a very well-coached team. Both these teams are.
Seibert surprised by the pass. Under 10 to shoot. Their offense a little clogged up.
Had to settle for that one. Baylor did a nice job of staying home and making them shoot over the top.
Tough shot by Pierre. There was rebounded by Gathers. 6 boards for Gathers. Cherry. Wow.
Little step back to create the space. That was not bad defense. That was just really good offense.
13 for Cherry. Averages 12 a game. 6-point lead for Dayton. The Flyers led by 5 at halftime. They led by 14 in the first half.
Nice pass.
A screen and roll by Cavanaugh. Seibert gave it to him. And Cavanaugh will go to the free throw line. Jefferson's first foul.
Just a little side pick and roll. And when the screener's defender here hedges up, did a nice job of just turning his head and rolling to the bucket. Corey Jefferson comes from across the lane. Boy, what a nice little step back move. Kenny Cherry's had a terrific ball game, both offensively and defensively. He's been alert on the defensive end. He's been putting the ball on the deck and driving it in the lane and taking open shots, moving without it. That's a good guard right there.
3 points now for Cavanaugh. 5th-year senior from Centerville, Ohio. Those are just the 3rd and 4th free throws of the game for Dayton, leading by a touchdown under 16 minutes to go. Cherry was stripped on the drive. Seibert's ahead of the field.
To happen, but he has really reinvented himself at Dayton under Archie Miller.
Corey Jefferson. This is the first of 2 free throws. One out of 2 for Jefferson. Great times in the Baylor athletic program. The success not only of men's basketball the last 7 years or so under Scott Drew, but of course the women's program, one of the best in the country. Football having the best run in the history of Baylor. Baylor and Oklahoma State are the only schools in the country with football, men's basketball, and women's basketball all ranked in the top 20 in the nation this week. Strong move by Kari Price. And then a hand-checking foul called at the other end as Price tried to steal it.
2 hands on the ball handler's always been a foul. And B. Sanford had 2 hands on the dribbler on that play. But on the offensive end, Dayton has been cutting up Baylor. I mean, they've obviously played good defense. You hold Baylor to 36 points at this point in the ball game. You have done a really good job. But their ball movement is spectacular.
Gary Franklin's had a quiet night after his big performance in their win last night. Franklin has just 3 points on a 3-ball very early in this game.
Ball's got to go into Rico Gathers.
Or to Jefferson on a lob.
Gathers had Price on him. You got to exploit that matchup.
Devin Scott Dumped it off to Pollard, and he got fouled.
See Price trying to front, and Devin Scott trying to help on the back end so that it's not lobbed over the top of the smaller Price. And instead, they just lob it to Corey Jefferson.
Pollard was quite the story last night. Through the first 4 games, he had played in all 4, but played a total of 18 minutes and had not taken a shot. And then he came off the bench last night against Gonzaga. It was one of the stars of the game. Scored 9 points. First 9 of his career. In just 11 minutes. Didn't miss a shot from the floor. Scott Drew apparently told some people earlier today, had Pollard not come into the game and did what he did last night, he wouldn't have even been on the Baylor scouting report tonight. They watched tape of Dayton from the first 4 games and really thought he wasn't even enough of a factor to mention in the scouting report. Cherry a miss, and a good putback by Taurean Prince, well positioned for 4 points. Pollard with confidence after that performance last night. Gets it to roll in. Freshman from Chicago. High school teammate of Jabari Parker. A star now at Duke. And you might think with Jabari on that team, they were good. They had 3 Illinois high school state titles.
Played really well on both ends of the floor. Good decision. Screen for the screener. Got it in the corner. Could have pulled the trigger on it, but he's going to make Baylor guard. They've made Baylor guard, moved it from side to side, and they've gotten some openings as a result of it.
Sanford saves it. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 18 seconds. Ten seconds. Price used the screen. And the rebound by Isaiah Austin.
Austin back into the ball game after not being productive at all in the first half.
Taurean Prince, and there's Austin, where he should be, right under the basket. That's his first bucket of the ball game. He had 8 points last night. Came to Maui averaging 11 points per game.
And he was fouled. Devin Scott just put his arm right into his midsection and pushed him sideways.
Austin has been a prolific shot blocker before they came over there. In the 2 games prior to coming to Maui, he blocked 15 shots combined against Louisiana Lafayette and Charleston Southern. Runner wouldn't go for V. Sanford. Under 12 minutes to go now.
Nice job by Franklin to get in there and rebound. Can't just leave it up to the big guys.
The other guy who hasn't done anything on the offensive end for tonight is Grady Heslop.
Hasn't played much. You got to be able to guard in this game. Not that he can't, but they've got guys that have shown a little bit more toughness that I think Scott Drew wanted to play to establish that sort of tougher identity.
Well, Heslop's their leading scorer for the year at 15 a game. He hasn't taken a shot tonight. He's taken very few threes. The 3-point goal is the specialty of Grady Heslop. Fouls on Royce O'Neal. His third. Free throws for Dayton with an 8-point lead when we come back.
Very good counter puncher and showed it. But it was a really, really fun time. Dave Odom, the tournament chairman, did a terrific job. And it was at the Hyatt Regency. Just a really fun event.
Jordan Seibert at the line for Dayton. Here's Dave Odom, tournament chairman. Done a great job. And more competition now with all these early season tournaments in attractive locales. And Jim Boeheim said the biggest reason that he brought Syracuse back here to Maui is because Dave Odom asked him. He wasn't sure he wanted to make the very long trip over here, but Dave Odom is such a good man. When he asks you to come, you have the respect for Dave Odom that Jim Boeheim comes, you come. Jim Boeheim has, rather. Brought his team, of course.
Just a bad decision by Devin Oliver.
And the 11th turnover for the Flyers. For the most part here in the second half, they've had a very comfortable working margin. 10 points right now. Ooh, we approach the midpoint of the second half. Big screen set at midcourt by Torian Prince that snapped the head of Scoochie Smith.
That was almost death to Scoochie.
And closer to the basket, 4 fouls now on Devin Oliver. That would be a huge loss. He is going to be lost to them, at least for the time being, because Archie Miller's going to take him out. He's a 13-point a game, 6.5 rebound performer for UD.
Seibert was right with Brady Heslop when he caught that ball.
Brady missed his first shot of the game. But a foul against Dayton on the follow-up. It's the first on Seibert and the 5th team foul on Dayton.
Seibert was boxed out, and rather than allow the offensive rebound, he just wrapped his arms around Ish Wainwright.
Franklin, nice offense, and the bunny missed by Ish Wainwright. Wound up back in the hands of Franklin, spinning to the bucket.
Oh, what a move. Even though Dayton's smaller, they contested the rim. Nothing has been easy. Now, a little 1-3-1 zone in the half court. Just give a different look. Baylor has been chasing a lot in this second half. And
3 out of the corner, short by Scoochie Smith. Up and in. Deshaun Pierre with a chance for a 3-point play.
In man-to-man, there were more defined box-out responsibilities. O'Neal hit the deck. A little bit of a hesitation on the shot. But Pierre was untouched as he went to the bucket. You're asking a guard like Gary Franklin to be able to block out a really good offensive rebounder in Deshaun Pierre.
Second foul on Wainwright. Pierre could not complete the 3-point play. Midway through the second half in the CA Sports Maui Invitational semifinal, the winner plays series.
Really the problem with him in the first half was he got the ball around the rim and just wasn't as strong as he needed to be with it.
Gathers comes back in. Boy, Austin was so impressive last year as a freshman. He had a game against Lamar, 23 points and 17 rebounds. The only other Big 12 freshman ever to have 23 and 17 or more in a game, Kevin Durant and Michael Beasley. Austin starred in the NIT championship game against Iowa, 15 points and 9 rebounds, blocked 5 shots, had 4 assists, then had shoulder surgery, didn't start practicing again until their first day of preseason practice, and they think he's really still working his way back.
One thing about the Big 12 records, I mean, they're terrific, but it doesn't take into account the records established when it was the Big 8. So you don't have Wayman Tisdale.
Well, why don't they?
I don't know. I don't really understand that because there's a tremendous history. I think so too.
Teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Scoochie Smith rattles one in. Although I have stopped even trying to keep track of how many teams are in each conference. Because the number means nothing.
Yeah, there's 10 in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. There's 14 in the Big 10.
Or at least will be. 4 fouls now on Kavanaugh. He's going to come out with 9:10 to go.
The free throw line becoming a real weapon for Baylor. And a team, Baylor's done a really nice job of not fouling on the other end when they're defending. Now they've given up some baskets they probably would rather not have given up. But as we get down the stretch, that free throw line is going to continue to be a friend to Baylor.
Kavanaugh with the 4 fouls. One more free throw for Rico Gathers. Dayton's over the limit now. Nice rebound by Deshaun Pierre out of Whitby, Ontario, his 5th rebound. He played for Canada in the under-19 and under-17 World Championships.
Dayton's had success when they've been driving the ball.
Seibert left alone, missed it. Race for the rebound, won by Gary Franklin, who pushes all the way into 2 defenders and scores.
That was a bad shot by Jordan Seibert. He's not taking many of them. But as we talk about all the time, a bad shot is the first pass in your opponent's fast break. And Seibert made that pass, and Baylor was able to score easily as a result.
Baylor within 7. Approaching 8 minutes to go. Scott rolls to the bucket and travels.
Just the presence of Isaiah Austin caused that travel.
12th turnover by Dayton.
Dayton has played with I would say comfortable lead, but a lead for a long time. If Baylor's able to score here, puts a little bit more game pressure on the Flyers.
Franklin, bad pass, got away with it. Scoochie Smith got a hand on it. Shot clock runs under 10. Cherry through the traffic. Short from the elbow, and Pierre another nice rebound.
There are 5 white shirts around the ball when it's on the glass. All 5 guys go to the defensive glass for Dayton.
Jake, you think we're at that point where fatigue becomes an issue, second game in as many days, second half?
A little bit, yeah. And I think that's why you really want to move the ball, make this defense move, and make them defend for long stretches. And side to side, Dayton winds up getting a good shot out of it.
And it's happened again. Every time it looks like Baylor's really going to put some game pressure on Dayton and tighten up the score. The Flyers have an answer, this time from V. Sanford with the 3 ball.
Baylor hadn't had anybody that could nice pass, but there's nobody right now that can just go into the low post and Baylor can throw it inside and they can make a post move and score or get fouled. That was a nice lob play. You'd like to see, I think, either Jefferson, Gathers, Austin, somebody be able to just post up on the low block. On the possessions where the ball has been reversed at least once, the shooting percentages have been really, really good.
Hollard hands it off to Scott. Out there with Price, Sanford, and Pierre for Archie Miller's Dayton Flyers. Baylor has led for less than 2 minutes in this game. They've got a lead for 1 minute and 51 seconds. Dayton trying to knock off a ranked opponent for the 2nd night in a row. If they could, they'd play the other ranked team in this field, Syracuse. There are 3 teams ranked in the top 25 this week. And if Dayton can get to tomorrow night in the championship game, they will have played all 3. And Jay, it's early in the year, but these are resume building wins. You already knocked off Gonzaga. Now you can get Baylor. Dayton figures to be a bubble team. You would project at this time of the year what a big help it is to have that in the bank early.
Resume building and confidence building. I think Dayton's got to feel like they can compete with anybody.
The Sanford called for his 2nd foul. and the 8th on the team. So Royce O'Neal goes to the line. 2 for 2 from the stripe tonight. And the front end just does roll in.
Guy you have to make sure that you box out is Corey Jefferson. So Scott and Pierre just have to pinch in and make sure he can't get in right next to the rim.
Baylor back within 6, and their fans trying to re-engage. They've been quiet for most of the night. Their team's been playing from behind all night long.
Pierre can face up and drive.
Working on O'Neal. Dumped it to the baseline, and Scott missed the bunny. Beautifully set up, and Devin Scott missed from close range. They were down 5 at the half. Baylor score here would be as close as they've been in the second half. The dump by Austin.
That was all the presence in making Scott miss on the other end of Austin and John. With just under 5 to go. Dayton up only 4.
Lead dwindled. They had a 10-point lead when Kavanaugh went out with his 4th foul. They still led by 10 when Oliver went out with his 4th foul. Jordan Seibert back in. Instant offense off the bench. 21 for Jordan Seibert.
Gary Franklin trying to keep him on that left side of the court to down everything, and one dribble, that shot was up. Well, what an answer by Dayton. They've had an answer just about every time that Baylor's made a run.
Cherry plays it in right underneath to Austin. We mentioned it earlier. He was in the witness protection program. Started the second half on the bench. He has come to life here in the second half for Baylor.
A great response by Isaiah Austin.
Devin Scott thought about his options and then passed it up. Kendall Pollard. Not a factor in their first 4 games, and after his heroics last night, in there at crunch time now for Dayton. Under 4 minutes to go. The winner goes to the title game tomorrow night against Syracuse. Price out of bounds with 1 second on the shot clock.
And Price just went in there body searching. Good no call by the
Baylor is within 4. Dayton has 1 second out of the timeout to get a shot up. They run a lob. Boy, you have to expect that if you're Baylor. I mean, what are the other options for Dayton? And it came right into Oliver.
Boy, just really poor defense after the timeout by Baylor. And Baylor has been dominating the paint in this game, but the three-point line has been dominated by Dayton.
I mean, if you're coaching Baylor, wouldn't the first thing you would say to your team is watch for the lob with 1 second on the shot clock?
There's no question about it.
Royce O'Neal all the way from the sideline to the bucket. 10 points for Royce O'Neal. And it's back to a 4-point game.
36 points in the paint for Baylor. They scored 20 points off turnovers, 15 points, second chance.
Well, they're in jeopardy of seeing the longest winning streak in the nation come to a close. We mentioned they've won 10 in a row. Only 2 teams. A wild shot. Played in the postseason, of course, last year, but finished with a win. Louisville, the national champs. Baylor, the NIT champs. I guess some of the other tournaments would qualify as well. But Baylor is the longest winning streak in the country with their 5 wins in a row in the NIT and now 5 here. They started this season Shot clock's at 10. 2:20 to go. That's for three. Royce O'Neal.
And now Baylor really starting to play with some energy. Energy they were lacking in the first half.
Their only lead was at 1-0. They led for 1 minute and 51 seconds. Dayton hanging on now with under 2 minutes to go.
You have to think that Dayton's going to look for Jordan Seibert. Guarded by Gary Franklin on the right side.
And the shot clock way down. Oliver at the shot clock buzzer. A huge three.
That's 4 for 4 now from the three-point line for Oliver.
And he was 1 for 9 for the year entering the game. Frank.
Bet their brothers are watching too. Both the brothers of Scott Drew and Archie Miller are Division I coaches. Sean Miller at Arizona and Bryce Drew at Valparaiso.
Dayton ball as we tick down to 1 minute to go in the ZA Sports Maui Invitational semifinal. The winner onto the championship game against Syracuse tomorrow night. Oliver's shot wouldn't go, and then it's batted out of bounds by Devin Scott. And now Baylor with a chance for its first lead since it was 1-0.
Devin Oliver likes to go to that spin. And it was a good opportunity, but Baylor's so long-armed and the ability to challenge shots. Good defense without fouling.
Franklin pulls it out. Under 30 seconds in the game. And the shot clock down to 7.
A good offensive player against a terrific defender.
Cherry. Rebound Jefferson. Baylor leads with 16.4 to go. Timeout. Dayton.
Kari Price and
Devin Oliver and Kari Price, and they get it in the hands of the point guard.
Taking a while to get in it.
5 seconds. Sanford stops. No! Tipped up, no good! And a foul at the buzzer. The game is over. Sanford shot